Alrighty, everybody. Welcome back to the Ogre Andy Ass podcast. You are now in the swamp. Today we have Callie Myers with us. How you doing today, Callie?
Great, thank you.
No, thank you so much for being on the show. We were really excited to have you. Eric, I'm afraid to ask how you're doing.
Good as always, my guy. Don't worry, it'll be nice. I won't say anything rude or assy.
Oh, well, I guess that kind of defeats the purpose then, doesn't it? It's just like, he's not going to be an ass, so I'm not listening. Okay. Well, so Callie, today you were so sweet of coming on here and being willing to talk about your photography business with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're super excited about that. One of the things we wanted with this podcast is to bring people on to let them promote their own business, but then talk about it and why you got started, what do you do to grow it? All these different questions that people wonder. Because I think everyone's out there wanting to do something for themselves, but they don't always know where to start. So I think it's always great when we can bring someone in who started their own business and just let them talk about it and really just give you the show. So I guess just jumping straight into this, first question. So why did you start a photography business? Why, like, out of everything you could have picked, why was that the first one?
I originally started because I just wanted to be able to take good pictures of my kids in my regular day-to-day life, but then I decided I needed more people to take pictures of than that because they're not as patient as, adults. So that is kind of where that got started. I bought a camera off of KSL and just started rolling with it. I guess I originally started in digital art.
Okay.
But then I wanted to be able to expand a little bit more on that. And the digital art world is very technical and complicated.
Yeah.
And I'm not educated for that. So I think photography was the next segue into still being able to dive into that digital art world, but also take good pictures of my kids and to break out to help other people as well.
Nice. Okay. So really just started because you want to take a good picture of your kids, which you look at any married person's phone, they're just nothing but their kids on there. So I get that. And so how did that come up, though, that you wanted to help other people? Why did it come into a business instead of just buying a nice camera and using it on your kids?
I ran out of people to take pictures of. Like
the kids stopped being cute.
That's a real issue for kids.
Look at us.
Bright futures. I ran out of people to take pictures of, and so in order to just keep going, I was like, okay, let's make something with this. Let's break out. Let's tell other people that I can maybe do this and try that.
I love the confidence there, maybe.
Yeah, that's still where it's at. So
I like that. Just the maybe aspect to it.
Wait,
no, go ahead.
I was going to say, so where do you get your customers normally?
Instagram.
Really?
Really?
You just reach out?
Mm-hmm.
Like cold knocking?
No, they reach out to me.
Oh, that's good, actually.
Oh, really? So is it even word of mouth, or is it just they see your work on Instagram and they're like, hey, like, we want to know your pricing. We want to know like all this other stuff about you.
That's a good question. So I am a part of several community groups that are on Facebook and Instagram in my neighborhood and in my family and a few other things like that. And if people are looking for a photographer, I'll usually tag myself on that. Or if I, like, my friends and family just know. So I have a Facebook page and an Instagram page, and I've gotten just a lot of, like, messages from other people, and that's been my last, 5 shoots.
So just Facebook and Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's pretty simple, actually.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, I've taken pictures of all my family because they have to. Yeah. They're my family. So, but it's the last person that I shot for yesterday was just somebody who was also on my neighborhood page on Facebook.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So that was something we even talked about. So we've done podcasts before about people starting businesses and well, how do I get content to share with people? Well, just like with you had your kids, you had your family, just take pictures of them. And when people like the quality of those photos, they don't care who's in them. Right. And you were just able to share it. And I think that's amazing that you did that. And so is it usually just people you've already known in your community? Are you getting complete strangers that you've never met before?
Complete strangers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Like the lady that I shot for yesterday, I didn't know her at all.
I got to ask, do you get weird requests for photos?
Not yet.
Let me know.
Someday. I'm waiting.
I want to be there for those. Let's see where this really gets.
Hey, come on now.
I'm like preparing myself to be open for that.
So
Sure.
we've made this joke before, and I got to bring it up. Eric's talked about starting an OnlyFans. So you saying?
Would you take pictures for that? Off the record.
No one's gonna watch
You don't have to answer that. You don't have to answer that.
You can private message me about that when you're ready.
All right, we're in business.
Slide the DMs. It all happens in the DMs. I don't care what anyone says.
That's true.
No, awesome. Okay, so I guess that's a great way too. So how do you promote your business? Is one, you've already taken pictures of your family. You started the Instagram page, but then how do you even get followers on your Instagram and Facebook page? How do you even get people to see them?
So I started the Instagram first because I prefer Instagram.
Well, especially for photos. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, like every other photographer in the world. And then I decided I should break into Facebook because there are people more like my parents' age who still use Facebook a ton.
Boomers.
It's kind of coming back a little bit, especially for businesses. I think Facebook has actually made a bit of a
It's
comeback.
changing with the times. I ain't gonna hate on it.
Yeah, and it's doing a really good job. So after I started my Facebook page, and I've been linking my posts to both, and another thing that I did was I donated a photo shoot to an auction to raise money for a local family in my neighborhood.
Oh, wow.
To pay off cancer bills.
Oh, my goodness.
Medical bills. And I think that's where a couple of these last inquiries have actually come from, because I shared that I donated an auction on my community page and on my normal Facebook pages as well. And it gets my portfolio out there. And I also just do a whole collage with it. And so
It's actually pretty brilliant, actually.
Yeah, it's just a good thing that she did too.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah. And it's fun.
I bet that was rewarding just in itself.
Yeah, it's cool to be a part of, and it's cool to have people bid on a photo shoot that you do in my very short experience window. It's nice.
Okay, ego, calm down there.
Yeah, for
That's
real.
all I got, man. That's all that's holding up this ship. So.
Ain't no one gonna do it for you. You just got to go with it. I like that.
Wait, so quick question. Does it help that your husband also does web designs?
No,
No, it doesn't?
not at all.
So you just did this all by yourself?
No, I really did. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Here. All right.
Okay.
This is originally where
I feel like I'm about to get some juicy beats. Better be worth it.
I guess kind of. I guess this is really where I started for photography.
Okay.
My husband, while you were living with us, was like, I think I need to start a YouTube channel.
You mean
And I was
freeloading?
Like, yeah.
Back when he was a freeloader.
Yeah.
Are you kind of still a freeloader? I don't know. I don't know how your life works now. But my husband was like, I think I need to start a YouTube channel. And I was like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. But then after thinking about it for a while, we thought about some different things that we could do. And so we tried the YouTube channel thing a whole 3 times, decided that we sucked at it. But then I really felt like I needed to do a blog, but I needed pictures for that blog. Mm-hmm. And I wanted pictures of my kids. I wanted pictures of my family. I wanted pictures of me going to different local businesses that I really liked and doing things with my family, going to places with my family that I really liked. That was what my blog was going to be about. I was going to highlight those kind of things. And that is why I got my first camera, actually, now that I'm thinking about it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I forget why I get on this tangent. But that blog still exists. I designed it all myself on WordPress. Took
Heck yeah.
forever. My husband feels very guilty because he is a web developer. He's great.
He should be.
But he does not want to code when he's not being paid for it.
Oh, that's
a
crazy.
fair point.
That's crazy. Hey, code or sleep on the couch. What's the options?
What's that meme? Show me the money.
I mean, he does. So, it's mine. It's mine after it hits that bank account. So
Spoken like a true wife.
it really is.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I appreciate you. I see you.
But yeah, so I did a WordPress thing, and then I built my parents' website as well for their business.
What do they do?
My mom started Designs and Stitches.
Oh, yeah.
And I built their whole website on Squarespace with my dad. Mostly me. They're never going to watch this. It was me.
What did they do?
Then they know that it was mostly me. And so now I know the whole Squarespace interface. I know the whole WordPress interface. It's very complicated, and it just takes a lot of you just got to stick with it.
Oh, see, I like using WordPress.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
I like it now that I know how to use it.
Yeah,
but
for real.
At first, God, it took me forever. And then now I've just kind of downgraded to be easier. and I use a past gallery site. So.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, awesome. Wow. So it seems like this thing naturally grew as you were out doing your own thing. You're starting a blog, and really, so it blossomed from there. Really, the history of it. And then you said you go out and you take pictures. You said it was like local companies or local businesses and stuff like that.
Favorite parks, local businesses, food trucks, just places we really loved. And I think someday we'll probably get back to doing more of that. But for right now, I'm kind of liking this whole photographer only scene.
Yeah.
Without the blog, it's hard.
Yeah.
Blogging's hard. Gotta be controversial, or have
unpopular
opinions.
That's the thing. It's almost like the same thing with a podcast. You have to have something worth saying,
yes,
or at least a personality worth listening to, something like that.
Something.
Okay, so this is going to seem really basic, but I have to ask this because, of course, we want people to see this and just get the basic questions out of the way. What do you need in order to start a photography business?
Like nothing and everything, right? You need a camera. You need a good computer with a lot of memory that you can upload all your pictures onto. The memory cards, the lenses. I've got tripod, diffusers, speedlight flash, all the things. A good
English.
Website.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say
For
English,
real.
please. I'm ignorant.
Right. You need someone on KSL to sell you all those things in one go at the same time, and then you need to figure out how to use all those.
So you don't
things.
got to go to Best Buy and buy the most expensive stuff.
Oh no.
So don't do that.
Don't
because
do
look,
that.
don't ball
Never
out.
buy anything new. Ever.
not worth it.
It's
No,
not.
you know what? And I think that's something too that I've ran it, maybe even with myself, but then with others too. They're always like, well, maybe I should go to this place and buy this brand new product. And it's like, okay, well, you can do that, but like it's going to be really expensive when it's probably overkill too, something you don't need. But like, well, I can get a longer life out of it. I think you're really, that's ifs, there's a lot of ifs in that. Yeah, you might get a longer life, or you drop it on your way out and guess what? You're out of camera that you just bought.
Yep.
So, there's just all that.
Yeah.
Okay, so as far as like software, what do you use for that?
So I use Adobe Lightroom, just the normal, to edit photos. I also use a little bit of Photoshop. I also use the Unscripted app, which does all of my contracts, my questionnaires, my whole photo shoot planning, all of that, templates, poses, scheduling, all of that is on that app, and I love it. And then pastgallery.com is where I post all of my albums that I send to clients. It's got my portfolio on it. It's got my contact info. It's got everything. So yeah, there's a lot of resources out there for photographers to not only post their work, to get a good portfolio, to edit pictures, but also to buy equipment with, and that's how I've done all of my things.
Beautiful. So, and especially since we are here in Utah, I gotta admit, I have so many friends who are photographers. I gotta know, do you feel like the market here for photography or for professional photographers, do you feel like it's just saturated here?
Yes. Well, I guess there's like a caveat to that, right? Do I feel like the market is saturated with professional photographers? No. Do I feel like the market is
professional is too strong of a word. I
It
shouldn't
really
have said
is.
professional.
I don't think I relate to that. But yeah, do I feel like the market is saturated with people like me? Absolutely. I didn't go to school for this, right?
Yeah.
I've taken a lot of classes online for this so that I could know what I'm doing.
Yeah, know what you're talking
because
about.
this is like technical equipment, right? Like this is heavy duty stuff. There's 85 buttons on this thing, and
Is it really 85?
no,
Oh.
there's like 15.
It's like,
Yeah, man, she sat there and counted them all, Eric.
I don't know.
I'm a very big exaggerator. But it's really technical, and there's a lot that goes into photography. And people that do go to school and get trained and things like that in photography, like roll their eyes at people like me, right? Who jump online and learn how to do it from other people who are kind and generous and put their crap on the internet, and then go out and start to make money. Though I know a lot of photographers who don't feel like the education is necessary for that. So to answer your actual question, yes, the market is heavily saturated. But I think that there's like kind of two classes of photographers out there. There are the professionals who charge a lot of money and are worth that amount of money. And I believe in that. But I also believe that there's a lot of people like me who keep photography more accessible to some other people. And I think that's really my motivation behind everything that I'm doing in photography. I want it to be accessible. did I just say? Accessible.
Yes.
For families, I want people to be able to have these moments. You know, we've got all the technology in the world to capture moments, but I want them to be good and I want them to put them on their walls, you know? I want them to have that and have them be nice. And when life sucks, and it does a lot, I want those cute pictures to be there.
Okay,
On that note.
yeah. So this is where we go into the mental health portion of our podcast.
Gosh, life sucks.
All right. Well, yeah, it's been great talking.
We're done.
But I was going to say, back to the point you brought up about, it being oversaturated. That's the same thing think about it with YouTube. You know, back in the day, only so many, stations caught your attention on TV.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a lot of people go to YouTube for their entertainment. And so is it oversaturated? Yes, but that means there's more of a niche for what you might be.
But I think that means, with how the internet is now, your content is so much easily more accessible.
Yeah.
So yeah, there are a lot of photographers out there, but the fact that now, like, even just the clients you've been getting is amazing.
Yeah.
And especially in a market that you admitted was oversaturated with professional.
No.
We're going to use that word very loosely. Professional photographers.
It's like our podcast, educational. Let's be careful how we use that, guys.
Yes, educational. It's
a lot.
educational if you look at what not to do.
Exactly.
But so do you think there's too much overthinking when people get into this business?
I think, yes. Like, do I think there's too much overthinking on photographer's part, or on...
like when someone wants to get into this and they're like, okay, I want to start a photography business. So they've narrowed down their niche, what they want to do, and they're about to jump into this. Like, do you just feel like maybe you felt this in yourself? Did you feel you were overthinking it in a regard of how simple it really is? Like, I'm not trying to make it sound easier than it is. I hope it doesn't come off that way. But it seems simple where you take the picture and then you go onto the software and then you make them look good. You glow them up. You know, everyone likes to be glowed up. Shoot, we need to glow up.
I blew up.
Yeah, I've been blown up. So
Woo.
We can do that too.
Hey, we're trying out here though. That's just hard.
It is hard.
So, but yeah, like people tend to overthink that stuff then?
I think the desire to be unique and to wow people in order to get clients is totally real. And so you want to take the most extreme photos and go to the most beautiful places and all of those things. So there's a lot of overthinking there, I think. And I think that's my big problem with being a photographer. I think that's why I've continued to be a photographer because, I mean, ultimately, what are you doing? You are capturing moments of people's lives and they're paying you to do that. This picture is about the family. It's about the person. It's about the dog. It's about the baby. It's about what you're taking a picture of, you know? It's nice to travel 3 hours to go wherever to take some solid, beautiful, once-in-a-lifetime photo.
Yeah, absolutely.
But are we taking away from the, like, what you're actually doing, which is capturing someone's life? And that's what they got you out there to do. Yeah, I think photography is getting way overthought. But there's some incredible results that have come from that. And I think it's just what you want. Yeah.
So kind of talk me over the equipment. I don't know anything about cameras.
Oh, yeah.
So for someone who's looking at, okay, like get a camera on KSL, but I don't want it to be a crummy camera. Like what do you use?
So this is a Canon 5D Mark II. It's a full frame camera. And if you're going to be more professional, you want a full frame. You're going to get the best shots, be able to take the bigger group photos, and it's going to be sharper and crisper. So that's the first thing. There's a lot of different camera brands out there. This is just the one I happen to use. Another thing that you're going to want is a camera with a low shutter count, lower, kind of like miles in a car.
Yeah.
You know, you go out there and you look on KSL and there's some real cute like Honda Accord with 250,000 miles on it, but it's like $500, so you should don't get that one. I mean, you can, and the Hondas last forever.
So check the shutter count. Okay.
Yeah, and that's something that that anybody who's selling a camera on KSL should be able to.
I think that's a nice little tip for people to pay attention to.
Yep, shutter count, really important, because that is the miles on this camera. How often that sensor has been exposed, and that affects the quality.
Can you just replace it though?
No. I mean, I guess you can, but you're going to be paying the same amount that you would just pay for a brand new
Gotcha.
camera. Yeah. Any kind of repair on a camera is going to be so expensive. Other than that, it kind of just depends on the photography that you want to do. For portraits and things like that, I really like prime lenses. The one I have, my favorite one is a 35 mil. And this isn't even a Canon one. This is a Sigma, which is kind of like the off-brand camera equipment. But hey, it's like,
looks real to me.
Yeah, it's real.
Like she whispered that. Off-brand.
It's like a dirty
Hey,
word.
we're not against thrifting over here. We understand the
Right.
thrift game.
I mean, I feel that. I got this
Ross,
off
that's
the
my
camera.
homie.
Free plug to Ross right there. Sign us up.
If you're buying camera equipment, don't go to Ross.
Okay, Ross, don't listen to her. Obviously, she ain't with us. We didn't know that one.
Oh yeah, what else can I say? Just depending on the kind of photography you want, it changes. I've got 5 different lenses now. I probably use like 3 of them.
So what's your favorite? Sorry.
This one.
No, go ahead.
Easily.
No, I mean like favorite like pictures.
Kind of photography.
Yeah.
I have really been getting into newborn shots. I love them, though there's a lot of safety and training you got to do for that. And so I've been taking lots of classes for that too.
Like newborn babies.
I mean, I think they're so prone to getting sick, aren't they? Or what is the biggest thing with that?
It's just safety. You know, you don't want to like move a baby a certain way and hurt them. You don't want to like.
So you're touching the baby too then?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Another piece of equipment that's handy is a business license. Get one so that you're insured.
Just because people are going to ask, I'm going to just ask this for them.
Mm-hmm.
How much is a business license? Or how much does it cost and how much time does it take to get a business license?
I got mine in like an hour on the internet.
So what, you signed up for it?
No, you really do. I mean, you go to the Utah tax license, you got your EIN number, takes like 20 minutes. You just type in all your info and tell them what your business is about. And then I have an Eagle Mountain state or an Eagle Mountain city license as well, to be able to operate very specifically in Eagle Mountain. And that was, I think, all together between the state license and the state tax ID number and the license was like $100. And that included a background check and registering with the state and getting an LLC.
They take it very seriously.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm working with other people and I'm working with very expensive equipment. Having an LLC makes sure that I'm insured if anything happens. And then just to operate in Eagle Mountain, one of the things I'm doing this fall is I am building backdrops to take to a fair in Eagle Mountain. And if somebody asks me if I have a business license for Eagle Mountain, I got to say yes, right? Like, so yeah, it's just real. And if you are going to be pulling in a lot of money, you should get those things, because if you get sued at all, your personal money can be attacked. But if you keep your business and your personal things separate and you have that LLC, they can't touch any of your personal money.
They can't touch me either way because I'm broke as a joke. So.
Right, what you gonna take? You gonna take my bills?
Take the bills, please. Take it now, Jesus. Take it now.
They were me. So, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I noticed that subtle flex you just put in there. I don't know if you caught that. But she's like, so when you start making a lot of money, because you have the other sales, like, okay, you don't got to come up in here bragging and stuff.
I'm not making a lot of money, but I like to follow the rules.
That sounded so fake. While she drives away in a new Tesla.
Looks in the camera. I follow the rules.
It's the law.
Yeah,
I'm a business license.
See, I feel like you're trying too hard now. You're doing something shady underneath. I know it. You're trying too hard.
You're too clean. I don't like that.
Yeah, whatever.
I don't have anything to say to that.
So, for someone who's looking to get into their own business, obviously, like I feel like this is pretty straightforward. You know the equipment you need. Besides the equipment, what is one of the most important things? And let's move away from the legality of it also. Besides equipment and the legality of, like, you know, getting the LLC, the EIN number.
Yeah. For taxes.
What is another really important thing? And at least something that comes to my mind, I don't know if it is for you, but location. Do you have like a set number of locations, all like just already set in your mind that if the person doesn't know where they want it, you're just like, okay, we're going to go here. This is my spot. This is where we go.
Yeah. Yeah. A knowledge of your surroundings is great. Going back to that like whole overthinking photography thing, I think it's miserable to have to travel an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours up a canyon into a middle of a dank field that like no one goes to and is muddy and swampy and you're dirty by the end to take a good picture. I think that's stupid. So my whole portfolio is location specific. There's no names of anybody on that thing. It's just all where I've taken certain pictures I'm training to hike the Grand Canyon.
Oh, wow.
So I go out a lot. And I just find places 30 minutes within like a 30-minute radius of my house. And so anybody that takes pictures with me, that's what they're going to get. It's all close. I go to all those places all the time and all the seasons. I know what it looks like. And yeah.
Wow. And so you're following all the rules and doing this, and you're staying within 30 minutes. You're just like, no, they come to me. So what if, let's say you had a wedding. So I actually had a friend. She was a wedding photographer and videographer.
Yeah.
And I don't remember the exact price. Don't quote me on this, but I know for at least some weddings, she was charging over $2,000. I don't know if that's a lot for weddings. I have no idea.
I think it's about average.
I was, I'm not there. I don't know what it is, but if that's average, that's crazy. I'm not getting a photographer, but
I hear that. I understand.
No, but yeah, have you ever been asked to do weddings or?
Yeah, I actually have a wedding in September.
And where's that going to be at?
Sandy, I think. And that's them. And if they want me to come out there, that's fine. But if you're going to ask me for a location, it's going to be local, more local to you. And that's, yeah. I mean, but weddings, you have them all day and they pay more for that. So, because they keep you for like 8-10 hours.
That sounds miserable.
But, well, I mean, if 8 to 10 hours, if it's true that you're charging $2,000, I'll stand out there for 8 to 10 hours.
I don't charge that much.
How much do you charge them?
No, we're not going to put that up. Because then people are going to look at her and they're going to try to undercut her. $50? I'm going to go $45.
It's more than $45.
Non-negotiable.
I was joking. It was an example. Never mind. You know what? Oh, maybe we'll make that your tactic. We'll start discussing your prices.
Oh,
but it's
yeah.
like 3 times as high.
But now you just told them that.
Dang it. They all caught me. Thanks, Eric.
And I'm not about to go update my website right now, so it's on there. You can
And we will be putting your website, your handles down in the description below. We love
Appreciate
doing
it.
stuff like this. This is so amazing just to hear this. I think something too. So you're talking honestly, like you're talking like you've been doing this for several years. How long have you actually been doing this for?
2 years.
Wow. So in 2 years, you've been able to build up a good clientele. You have all this knowledge about it. You know what you're doing. You're scheduled out all the way. You have stuff in September, obviously. So, I mean, I think that's just phenomenal.
Yeah.
And what you've been able to do in 2 years from a hobby you picked up of just taking pictures of your kids.
Yeah.
Wow. So what's advice that you would give to people who want to get into this? Like just off the top of your head advice.
Don't do things that you don't want to do. First of all, I mean, there's so many ways to make money out there, and photography is it was like pretty low overhead as far as like business costs are considered. You know, you can start pretty cheap in this, but if you don't like it, don't do it, because it's a lot and it's with a lot of people and a lot of people you don't know. And if that makes you uncomfortable at all, then that's not where I would start. I would also, if you're going to get into this, you've got to be confident. That's definitely something that I work on, because like you said, the market is very saturated. I'm pretty sure there's like 3 different photographers that live on my street. But
You guys ever take photos of the other one?
No, really.
Just going around like, I gotcha. Make it again with tag.
We should. That'd probably make us all like each other more. Just kidding. It's a friendly community.
Please.
It's way too nice looking for that.
Yeah, let's not. You know
I've been
what?
there.
I'm not going to talk about this.
But you just got to be confident and realize that there's nothing that makes other people better than you. It's your time. It's where it's all you. If you want to get better, get better. If you want to learn more, go learn more. If you want nicer stuff, go get nicer stuff. Like, and probably the last thing that I would say is don't underestimate the amount of time posting on social media takes. I hate it. Oh, I hate it. But it's so good, and really, like, that's where you connect to the people that you're gonna do business with, right? And it's worth it.
You have to force that.
It's worth it.
That's what I wake up and tell myself every day.
You know, it's kind of funny how these hobbies start off, like obviously doing a podcast and you do photography, that, yeah, we love it and we pay all this money. And how much you make? Oh, we don't.
Make? What's that?
Make? You guys make money?
I make my bed.
I don't even do that. I make dinner.
Right. No, but that's cool now that you've turned this into an actual business for yourself and it's growing.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, and okay, fine. I got one more piece. There's a lot of different kinds of photography out there, and you've just got to find what you actually like to do. Like, my little brother loves photography. Would he ever take a picture of a human being? No, not in his life. He does not want to take
Actually,
pictures
I've
of
seen
people.
some of his.
Thank you. He's great. But he does not want to take pictures of anything besides birds and clouds. Like,
so he'd be doing a lot of Nat Geo stuff, which I like that too.
Yeah, and I hope he gets into that because that would be awesome.
Yeah, it is. Hey, have you seen some of the stuff they do? Like where you see like animals interacting with them because they've just been staying in the same position so long. I think that's so amazing.
It's gonna be him.
That'd be good.
Yeah. I've seen that dude sit in front of the TV. He's solid. He's got Nat Geo in the bag. So
okay, fair enough. Good roast on him, poor guy.
What's he, 16 now, right?
He's 15.
15, okay. So
wow.
He has time.
Yeah, you got time.
Yeah, he's got some time.
So actually, while you were talking, giving some of your advice, there's something that came to mind. I think people would really like to hear this. Your first session, or the first time you did photography for someone else. What was that like going into that? Your very first time?
Oh, I've got to think for a second here. The first time I did like not a family member.
Yeah.
Okay. It was for a family who takes lots of pictures, super into it. Like almost dance mom-esque family.
Oh, wow.
So it was really, really intimidating, to be honest, because they love to do this all the time. But I was free for the first year. So if you just happen to find me, yeah, I was free and I didn't charge. So she's like, oh, heck yeah, I just need a Christmas card picture. Let's do this. So, yeah, it's terrifying, absolutely terrifying, because they are looking to you for how to stand, making sure that their hair looks good, that her kids' hands were sticking out of their sleeves. I have so many shots of that family's hands in their sleeves where they have like no hands. It's the best. And just making sure that everybody's happy, and you have to keep kids happy. You have to keep mom and dad happy, and that means keeping the kids happy. And taking a whole hour of a 7-year-old's time is quite a challenge. And I guess my best advice if you're starting out is just to be really prepared. Be prepared.
Your first session, like, so come prepared, come confident.
Yes, come very confident. Come with candy. In my bag, I have a great camera bag, and there is suckers in it always.
Oh, do you also have those things? My aunt is really into photography as well, and I've seen what she does with her kids because they're like 2, 3, 4 years old, stuff like that. So at the end of her lens, she has like a little fluffy thing you can put for like the kids to look at to kind of make them smile or laugh.
Yeah,
I always think that's funny. Do you use stuff like that too?
I don't actually. What I do is I send the family a questionnaire before we start the session, like a week before, and I have them answer things about their kids. What do their kids like? What TV shows? What foods? What songs? And then I pull all that in for my sessions. So this last one that I did yesterday, this cute little 1-year-old, he really liked dinosaurs and counting. Funny kid. So that's what we did the whole time. We did lots of rhying and lots of counting to 3 and lots of like.
Hey, that's cute though. So you just got to make it. So it's almost like you got to be a
pretty
nursery.
sociable.
Yeah. Well, you got to be a nursery school teacher in order to get like a good good
picture
photo in there. Oh man.
Yeah, it's fun though. It's good, and I am a mom, so that helps.
So you're prepared. You know what to expect.
Yeah, I know what to expect, and I know what works. At least for my kids. So.
Gotcha. Well, I think this has just been amazing. You being like you talking about this, you have so much knowledge based on this already. Like the fact that you do a questionnaire, I bet like there's so many things that when people get into this, they don't understand like how much knowledge you need to have about the family before even getting into it. So here's another question for you, and I think this will also help settle some anxiety for people who are thinking about getting into this. Have you ever had a client who was mad at you or really disliked your shoots?
I have had some re-edits. Yeah, they've come back and asked me to re-edit a few things because they are fuzzy or dark or something. And, it happens. You want to be 100% for everyone that you work with all the time, right? But you are a human being. And just sometimes it's great and sometimes it's not. And you're happy that they love that shot, but it's a little bit fuzzy. And and it's fuzzy if they want to blow it up to, like a movie poster size, and you can't there's just sometimes you just can't do things right. And you apologize, you do what you can, and if they want, I've had people ask me for raw files of specific photos, and I'm happy to do that too. If they're really unhappy with the way I've edited it, then here you go, there it is. But it's just part of the process, and you've got to understand and just remember that you're human. And especially where photographers are pretty highly sought after. I mean, I've only been doing this for 2 years. I don't charge that much, but I'm still not that experienced. I follow lots and lots and lots of photographers that are way better than me, but they see your stuff. They know who you are, and you've just got to own it. And that includes owning your mistakes too. So.
Hell yeah. I like that. So when someone's come back to you, you just gotta be like, yep, I messed up. What do you want done?
Yep. Yeah. Because it's better to have a good reputation than to like try to defend yourself and to be like who you're not. And
do you think there's like, could you avoid it? Do you think anyone could ever avoid someone coming back like, I don't like these photos?
I mean, it's only happened to me once.
Oh, that's not too bad in 2 years.
I had a few shoots, so
that's good.
Okay, so it's not bad. So taking your time on the software, really working hard at the photo in the first place, and
just learn a lot. Just learn and learn and learn and learn. That's like what I do in my spare time. Seriously, I'll be sitting down and working on something else and watching a video about different. Like this week I've been doing all the newborn safety certification stuff and education and all that, and it's just on in the background and I'm watching it. That's all I do. Learn and learn and learn and learn, because the more that you learn, the better you're going to do. And the more things stick in your brain. I can't tell you how like blank your mind gets when you're with a family and they've got kids running around. You're like, okay, what did I plan next to do? What other pose can we do? What other game can we play to get this, like, to get through this completely blank? So the more that you learn, the better you're going to be.
And like you said, most of this stuff you learn just through Googling and YouTube.
Yeah. There's some great resources out there. Unscripted. If you are a photographer trying to be a photographer, just get that, because they lay all that out for you, and they have poses and prompts and contracts and templates and all the things. Video School Online. That is where I started. It's on Udemy. They have their own Instagram. They have their own website. I love Udemy. I use it all the time. Craftsy's pretty good too. They've got some great stuff on there, and I have subscriptions to all these things, and so I just go and I look up stuff and I watch videos. And
amazing.
Yeah.
You see, that's the beautiful thing about the 21st century, is that everything you need now is online. Like you mentioned before, yeah, you can definitely go to school for this and get a good degree in it, but you're just doing it just from the bottom, ground up. And that's a good thing.
Yeah.
And a lot of people will see that and say, hey, if she can do this and she's just an average Joe, that means I can do it. And that's one thing I like about this podcast, is we're average Joes trying to do this. And we want to definitely inspire people, through you, especially as the guest, to let people go out there and get out of their own way and do those steps to become, a photographer like you. You did the basic things, Facebook and Instagram, and then your clientele is pretty big.
Yeah, it's decent. I'm not mad about it.
So speaking of Average Joes, that was actually a name we thought about. Like, maybe we should do the Average Joe's podcast. One, it's already taken. Appreciate you guys. I'm not going to talk bad about you, but I'm mad you took the name.
I'm going to talk bad about you.
No, we won't. But no, we're happy we picked the ogre in the ass. Definitely did.
Can't believe that wasn't taken.
Really? So we actually thought about like just the swamp, and that was taken. I was like, the swamp? Really?
I think it's like a radio show.
Oh, the swamp?
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I just know, and this was like a while ago, so I don't really remember. But I remember when it was like the swamp. It was just like a bunch of women on there. I was like, why would a bunch of women want to be on a podcast called The Swamp? But I was like, hey, you know what? I ain't gonna hate the game. Like, it's good. Whatever works for them. So they're doing awesome out there. But I think that just goes to show, like, anyone can do this stuff, right? Like, you got into this just 2 years ago, and look how much knowledge you have about this, how much you're able to share and help people out with. And there was probably days you didn't want to always do it. Is that right? Like, did you ever schedule something, or you had to do editing, like you said, and you just did not want to sit in front of the computer and do it?
Yeah. And you gotta you learn your boundaries, right? I never edit the same day of shot, because you're just too tired, like exhausted after shooting. I am like dead on the floor. And I don't ever, it's like a process. You shoot one day, and then you sort another day, and then you edit the day after that, right? And if you're getting into photography, you know this. So you learn your process. And if you are even interested in becoming a photographer, you're self-starter enough to figure all this out, to go onto the internet, to use all your resources, and to find your own self-awareness and your boundaries. And that is just part of starting any business, I think.
Yeah.
So if you're thinking about it, you already got it.
Oh, I love that. If you're thinking about doing it, just go and do it. Even if, like, I'm not going to speak up like I know what I'm talking about here, but I mean, have you seen what just pictures people are taking on their iPhone 12s? Like, it's amazing. Like, just the stuff you can take. It seems like really, Like, you can use something that's right there in your hand already. And really, what you got to focus on is the aftermath of that. The editing, I bet, is just as important, if not more important, than the actual shot itself. Or how would you rank that?
Okay, let's just debunk this right now. Cell phone pictures are awesome. I take them all the time. Actually, I'm really terrible cell phone photographer. I'm really bad.
Okay, she's about to get going on it. You
Right.
going.
Yep.
Fake news.
Oh, boy.
It's not fake. This is 100% real. And I'm going to tell all you people right now, cell phone pictures are great. But if you're trying to blow that up and put it on your wall, it's going to be fuzzy AF, man. Just because the file size that a cell phone picture takes is not this size print worthy. I'm just going to break that down.
By the way, they can't see that in the
Dang it.
We'll show them later on.
It is not 11 by 15 size.
And hey, you know what? You might be hating on camera pictures, but one, that's all I've ever taken. Two,
I take some good ones
and
too.
that being no, you do not. Anyway.
I don't.
Anyway, and that being said, this whole podcast is being filmed on cameras from iPhones. So, you know what?
I'm telling you, it has a place. It has a place.
We don't need that.
It's out here chilling for Apple.
Hey, but you know what though? Like, I think that's one of those things of, we are using, like, as you can tell, iPhones for our cameras. But that's something that I feel like, one, we're not rich. We gotta use what we
Ballers
got.
on the budget.
That's exactly.
Make it rain nickels and dimes over here.
That's all we got. They can pick them up afterwards, though. I got a jar for them. No, but using, just what you have, I think is such a big, like, a great place to start. Like for us right now, we're on the iPhone.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're using. But just earlier today, Eric and I were talking about different cameras that we want to get into. One day you can build up to those things.
Absolutely.
So, this has just been amazing. Any last bit of advice? I know I asked you that now, but just before we close it up, what's the last thing you tell someone in 3 words?
In 3 words. Yeah,
3
that's
words.
bad for me.
No, you got this.
Just keep going.
Oh, she got it. Just keep going.
I think about that. Just keep. Are those 2 words? Compound words?
Going. Come on. Okay, wait. Going. Okay, that's syllables.
Hey, man, that was hard.
No. Okay. Well, thank you again so much. And again, we're going to be putting your handles down in the description below. We're going to give you as much of a shout out as we can. For everyone who's listening or watching this, please go give her stuff a look. She's been amazing. So educational here. Really helped us out. And for everyone who has been listening again, we want to give a huge thank you. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the like button. Or if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please feel free to follow us. We'd love to, we see that stuff. We see exactly. I'll say it now. Like I said, we have people out in Germany and Belgium.
Yeah.
They might think we don't know about them, but we see you out there.
Yeah, that's good. Yes.
Das gut. Anyway, thank you so much for coming into the swamp. And for the rest of you of our viewers and listeners, until next time, stay the hell out of our swamp.